This is Miss Adventures, your selfie whisperer. Sorry about the grainy look. It seems my new old laptop is not up to par. However, it's also very dark in here, so probably the lack of light is a problem. Um, Tonight is about to be minus 27, and I was just going around touching up some insulation and things, and then I thought, why don't I give you some advice? So, as you can see, compared to last year's video, I've evolved. I love aluminum insulation. So, why is my ceiling all aluminum? Like, the whole ceiling is aluminum. Um, I was going to do also the loft area. I'm looking at the loft. However, I couldn't reach over there. I had to come down, bring my bed down here and all that. I just am recovering from surgery for my leg. I had 11 screws taken out and a plate, and they had to scrape the bone. It was gross. Anyways, so instead, what I did is I just stapled where I could reach, and then it kind of went this way, and I thought I could live with that. And so the bubble wrap is only on like the window I could reach for now. But we're going to have minus 27 Celsius, which is like feels like, you know, like hell froze over. So different things that I'm doing before the battery dies, because batteries die faster. As you can see, I have, it's, okay, so it's a little bit cheerful. I have some vines with silk roses. I paid $5 at Goodwill just so it's not depressing. Oh, you can't see that. So my theme is silver with pink. So I got a little pink lantern here. And so what am I doing? Against the wall, I have to... Okay, so against the wall I have 2 layers of bubble wrap, which you can't see right now. 2 layers of bubble wrap. I have some rubber, black rubber here. In theory, when the sun comes out, it attracts the warmth. When it's minus 30, it doesn't matter. But we have sunlight. That's the thing about Alberta. It's very deceiving because we have sunlight, and so you think it's going to be warmer than it really is, and you have to dress for the weather. Then I have the aluminum insulation. What I did is I cut out 3 sides of the window so that I can pull it back and bring light in. And then I also have a lip out of the aluminum tape. I made this lip so that I could just squeeze it in the lip area with this extra tape that's all around and insulate a little better. And then on the other side, I know a lot of you are using fleece blankets, which I think is fabulous. I found a Dollarama tablecloth. I actually like the blue and white flowers on the tablecloth. And by coincidence, the other side had like the fleece material. So I was going to have it on the blue side, and which is plastic, and I thought plastic is cold, so this is warm. And then what happened was that I realized that it's just too busy, you know, just too busy. I need less busy. So with the white, it's fabulous. I could use it as a tablecloth in the summer. So, and I had painted the cabinets. So yes, it looked ugly, really ugly before, but it's getting better. And then I have a mirror. I don't know if you could see that over there. So So up there, I have a little whiteboard, and for lack of any place else to put it, if I'm inspired, I can always write some poems. And the mirror pieces had broken off of another one because I originally put the mirror there and there against the wall, and so that from a feng shui standpoint, when you open the door, you see this mirror. Unfortunately, the mirror idea only works in the summer, and this is survival, folks. So what else am I doing? So the loft, again, multiple layers. You'll see up there, there's a little bit of light, a little bit of airflow. Warm air rises, and so does any propane smells, so it goes up. The bottom is insulated. I want to show you something else. 12 bucks at $13 at Home Depot. And that is, so, see. So what I did is I bought a big piece of styrofoam that has like one side aluminum, the other side is like plastic. It's like R2. However, it's like a wall between the cab and the rest of the RV, which means for the winter I have to step outside, go around, get back in order to drive the RV. Not my personal favorite way of doing things. However, one of the big problems the last couple of years that I've been doing this, last few years, was that between the cab and the RV, no matter how many curtains I put up, there was always a gap on the floor. Cold air is down below, so it was like a breeze coming in. Cabs are awful when it comes to insulation. So what I did instead is, by having this styrofoam, it actually goes up to almost the top where the bed meets the top. There's a gap, but it's much cooler, it's much warmer than it would have been on the floor. And then this gap, I have more of the aluminum insulation and some tape and whatever. But if can't see my finger here, but I'm Italian, I talk with my hands. If the buddy heater, which you can't see right now, but I have a Mr. Buddy heater. Where is it? There it is. There it is. See it? Oops. Everything's reversed. So there it is, Mr. Buddy heater. And so how do I organize the buddy heater? So as you see on the floor, which is messy, as you see on the floor, I have aluminum insulation all over the floor. And then I have this rubber, but the rubber doesn't go all the way. It starts here and then go forward. Why is that? The reason is that the propane tank, I don't know if you could see it, it's right around the corner of the bathroom. So I close the drapes. There's 2 drapes there, which is nice. And then I'll turn it on and I can reach it carefully. And I have a hose that comes, and so the Mr. Buddy heater is on the aluminum area, usually about between the 2 refrigerators. Oh yeah, I have 2 refrigerators. This one has never worked. It's that one that came with the RV. The rubber needs to be replaced at the top. It was disgusting. But also, I don't use propane in the RV like the way it's meant to be used. My fear is always if there's a leak or something. And also, so in the winter, it's a freezer. Actually, what happened is I had a gallon of water sitting on the counter and it froze, so I put it in the fridge. So it's a freezer. Olive oil freezes at -5, just so you know. Um, so I get to use my olive oil in the spring. And in the spring, it becomes a refrigerator. In the fall, it's a refrigerator. In the summer, it's a pantry. Okay? And then there's the pantry above, and that's all I have for putting my food. And it was just really inefficient. And people always, have issues with like their batteries dying, and the propane's not working, and they put all this food in the refrigerator, and then the food just spoils. So you just go with the season. And I'm in an urban area, so anything I need would be at the grocery store. So then there's this refrigerator here. It's 2x2. I paid $30, $25, something like that. And when I have power, I plug it in. I can plug it in with solar panels. I can put, right now there's another gallon of frozen water in there. The reason I put the frozen water in the refrigerator is not to keep the refrigerator cool. It's not it's so that I don't have a, if you have frozen gallons and you keep them in your RV out, to defrost, you're actually making it cooler in the RV. So if you want to keep it warm, if something freezes, I'm sorry, but in the fridge it goes, away from the common area. And then I had this bottle here, and that had frozen, and it was half full. So I just overnight, I just kept it about 1.5 feet in front of, but over to the side of the Mr. Buddy heater. And here's something else I need to tell you, okay? I know when you first turn it on, you want to go full blast, like, give me hot air, please. And I might do that at first. But here's the thing, okay? Oxygen is kind of important, and if it doesn't get oxygen, it shuts off. If it's too hot, all the warm air rises, right? So what you're really doing is heating up your ceiling. If it's warm, if it's on low and slowly, it's on, that air will disperse, and it'll warm up the RV and keep it warm. But if it's just high hot, you're not going to do very well. You're better off insulating your RV, is what I'm saying. Another thing I do is, whoops, there we go. These are hot hands. They have them for the toes, which actually I'm going to take some with me. Toes, because it's going to get really cold. And the ones for the hands last 18 hours. So I put one of these at the foot of my bed. Now keep in mind, it takes, like, they say half hour to get hot. I say half hour to get warm because it's so cold. And then 45 minutes to an hour to get hot. So keep that in mind. Start early. And I might even take that with me and get started early. So, because of the weather tonight. I put one at the foot of my bed, and then I put one at the foot of my bed, and then I put one that I sleep with. If it's cold enough, I might sleep with two. I put one up here, and then one at my leg area, and then I've got one at my foot area. And it gets very hot. When it gets hot, it gets hot. So you don't want it touching your skin. And what it's going to do is warm up the ambient air. But the added benefit is that when it's not too hot, so, and to keep activating it, you keep just doing this. You keep playing with it. But what happens is, if you're really cold, you have one at your foot. Put one like behind your neck for a bit, and then here and under your arms, and it'll help. But it turns out, like, if you take your cell phone and you put it on a table, especially when it's cold, the cell phone the battery's just going to die. I mean, right now my phone battery is dead anyways. But if you just take it and put it on this, even if it's no longer active, it draws moisture away, but also it's almost like a little bed for your cell phone. It turns out you can reactivate these, because these are like they're 10 for $10, which is no big deal, except when you figure you're using 2 a day over the period of a month, if you're worried about the cost of gas, this gets expensive. But it's a survival issue. So what you do is, if you have them in baggies, you cut off the oxygen, and then you can reactivate them by giving it oxygen again. Also, they're good for moisture, attracting moisture. And yesterday, I was looking at my cell phone, and my battery was, depleting. So this was still warm. It wasn't hot. It was warm. And so I put my phone on it, and it stopped. I put it in front and then behind it, and the battery lasted. I mean, like, even when it said 2%, it was like a long 2%. So the battery was actually warming up. You don't want to make it too hot, because batteries get too hot and they explode, so you don't want that. What else did I do? Oh, so the door. So I know you're looking at all this going, Maria, books, antique that I'm selling, refrigerator, and I'm still working through some insulation. I had a lot of blankets and insulation. I pulled everything out, so I might even cut that. But the door, what am I doing with the door? So the door. Let me tell you about the door. So you close the door. What I did, and I think I should show you, because it's something that some of you might learn from, because it's a little unique. And anyways, I'm about to go out there and brave the cold. Okay, ow. So I'm saying ow, but frost. See, frost. Unbelievable. I have snow indoors. So here's what I did. See? So what I did is, the door jamb is metal. So I took that aluminum foil, and the door jamb was getting frozen, and I took the aluminum foil and just went over the border, all the way around, and it made a huge difference. So this is the door. And then at the bottom, I have one of those rubber tiles that I had left over from a previous failed project. So I cut the bottom because they're like, you know, they're staggered, and it doesn't reach all the way to both sides. It's just for the middle. Then I have a laundry bag. I just threw my laundry bag in there. I'm like, if somebody breaks in, do my laundry for me, please. So I threw my laundry bag in there, and in the step, because of course the step, it's so poorly insulated. Oh my God. So this step, you know, you get a breeze. I'm getting all kinds of breezes. So my bathroom walls are freezing. The reason is, even though I've sort of insulated the exterior, see, what happens is your storage, all that storage, oh, it's so exciting. You got little doors, you open up, and it's not insulated. It's wood, it's not insulated. So I put some insulation, but there's gaps, and the gaps, the air got in the gaps. And then the ventilation part, you know, oh, the ventilation, they're so considerate. Ventilation equals air conditioning in the winter. So you need to do something about that, because what happens is the condensation from the inside, the warmth from the inside, cold from the outside, your walls will freeze. So what? So what is then you'll get frost on your walls. You'll get ice on your walls. You'll get ice on your interior walls. And the thicker the ice, the colder it stays. And did I mention it's going to be minus 30? So you want to make sure that you do something about that as well. What else? Don't drive when it's minus 30. I know you want to drive. I know you want to drive. Don't do it. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So what else? Oh, and I have on the floor, so I have aluminum, I have rubber, and then I have this. This was originally cover for my seats, and then it tore, and I'm like, I'm not getting rid of this. This is cool material. So I use it as a little throw rug. Throw rugs are actually better than carpeting, you know. For those of you, and I know it's so sad, for those of you who went through the trouble of, you know, linoleum. Oh, this is so exciting. I have linoleum. Did I mention it's going to be minus 30? So even with linoleum, you know, you need to cover it up. You need to cover it up. So, this is Misadventures, your selfie whisper. I have to find my gloves. Oh, so how did I get it up there? This is my new favorite tool. It's really hard to press on it because I have arthritis. So if you push at the bottom, this over here, instead of from the top, it's actually easier. And I'm just stapling. Mama, I just staple everything. Staple, staple, staple. So be careful. Some staples fall off and then you step on them. Bad idea. But definitely worthwhile. And, I think I'm going to stay put. I do. I think I'm going to stay put, and um, I'm actually parked right next to a community pool. Yay! And it's very warm in there. It's open till 10 o'clock at night, so that's where I'll be. And they have Wi-Fi and even power outlets. So I have a little bag that I carry, and it has like my little, I can warm water. I plug everything in. I plug everything in. Warm water, and then I can make myself tea, and I bring bagels so I can dip the bagels and have a snack, and I'm on Wi-Fi, and I stay warm, and then I use their bathroom and all that jazz. So, uh, that's it. That's it. And I've got to go. Uh, I have about an hour left of daylight, if that much. Misadventures, your selfie whisperer, please subscribe, and share. And I know it's grainy. It's grainy because the lighting is so poor right now, but it'll get better. Stay warm. It's snowing everywhere. It snows in the desert, in the south. It's snowing in Hawaii. It's snowing in Cuba. I will punch in the throat the next person who brings up global warming. I swear to God, it's just, come on. Okay, we have an average in Alberta alone about 30 people a year who die from the cold. So hang in there, stay warm, and oh, if your feet are frozen, there's a high likelihood that your feet were sweating and the moisture got cold and froze. So what you want to do is change your socks, carry extra socks with you, and warm them up in your pockets, and then turn your socks inside out, whatever you have to do to keep your feet warm. Fingers and toes, and wear a hat. So I have a hat. This is not the latest in fashion. And sleep with a hat. I might even sleep with the winter coat on tonight. It's so cold. So hang in there and be safe. And don't forget to comment and subscribe.